Hey, what's up, guys? Today, talking about two seemingly oppositional areas, red pill and astrology. Okay, if you don't know red pill, just uh, look up some videos. Rollo Tomasi, Rich Cooper. It's the guy that was just canceled. The Tate brothers. Okay, and astrology. Okay. So I explained in a previous video that the red pill gives you a good, well-rounded understanding of how men are, how women are on a behavioral basis, like what we look for in the opposite sex. But it doesn't necessarily account for what form that has to take, right? Like, so hypergamy is real, okay? Women do look for men who are better than them in a myriad of ways. Like a woman has to look up to her man, but what form does that take? If she is very mentally oriented, if she's intelligent, if she's educated, she wants someone who is at least as mentally active and intelligent and educated as she is. And she may not put as much weight into the money aspect of hypergamy, right? So it depends on her skills, her personality traits, and what it is that she values on a personality level. Yes, all women need to feel safe and secure and need to feel feminine and submissive around their man and look up to their man. But what form does that take? What areas of life is she placing emphasis on that you need to be better than her at, right? Those are the things that the red pill doesn't really account for, is what form does it take. It just tells you across the board, like, men need to be better than women in order to attract them. Okay, great. So I'd need to be as best as I can be. Yes, you do. You should be as best as you can be. Everyone should, but especially dudes if they want to get girls. Okay. So a lot of girls will come to, they'll go to a date and they'll mention something about and I'm talking to guys right now. Okay. If you're a girl watching this, like, you're only going to take so much value from it. If you're a dude, you're on a date and she mentioned something about, like, yeah, you would say that you're a Sagittarius. You know what I mean? Um, like, this girl probably, like even most people who claim to be professional astrologers, she probably doesn't know what she's talking about. Okay. She might have some general conception of like what the signs mean, but more deeply speaking, astrology is way more than signs. In fact, signs are of tertiary importance if we're talking about the psychological style of astrology that I do. Most people, like, astrology is a tool. It's a very old science. It's thousands of years old. It's been cultivated and developed a lot in these last 6,000 years, and it's better now than ever. But because more people are doing it, interested in it, practicing it, more people are using the tool, it implies that there's more bad astrology now than ever as well. It's kind of like with music, people say, oh, music isn't what it used to be. No, no, no. Pop music, radio music, rock and roll isn't what it used to be. Okay. There's more good music being produced right now than ever in history. You just have to dig deeper and deeper under the bullshit to find it. All right. With the good comes the bad, and the bad comes the good. All right. I live in Sedona, Arizona. It's a very spiritually active place. Some people move here and they're just absolutely like starry eyed for it. They love it. Okay. Some people come here and they're absolutely disgusted by it for the same reason, because it's a spiritually active place. So there are going to be a lot of phony, fake spiritual people who move here, and there are going to be a handful of good ones who stick true to the traditions of, say, the Vedic sciences, astrology, the healing sciences, just psychology, so on and so forth. Look, these are tools that we've been given. We can use them for good or use them for evil, be true and accurate in our methodologies, or we can be false and do it just to gain a buck. All right. And be more concerned with the marketing side of it. There's a right way and a wrong way to do anything, even casual sex, even killing someone. Okay. You do it out of self-defense because you have to, not because you want to, because you got pissed at your coworker or something. All right. We have tools, we have capacities, we can use them for good or for evil. All right. So that girl you're on a date with probably doesn't know anything about astrology, and she's probably using it in the wrong way in order to understand herself just enough to be able to validate her own delusions and make excuses for her bad behavior. That is not what astrology is for. Astrology tells us that we are more nature than nurture, and it is very compatible with the red pill philosophy because it teaches you what the red pill can't account for, which is personality nuances, not the general details of, or the general truths of how men are, how women are. Right? It's about personality nuances. What makes you different as a man from other men? Okay. So it's astrology is very red pilled if you're serious about it, like I am. If you practice it from a perspective of giving, like learning about your own chart and giving yourself those cold, hard truths that maybe you don't want to accept about yourself, about how it is that you see the world and how it is that things could go wrong if you misuse the tools that you're given, tells you about those perceptual and psychological tools that you've been given. All right. And you can misuse your gifts and your talents. All right. And so a lot of girls don't, a lot of people in general, but girls especially, because it's mostly girls who are in astrology for better and for worse. On a date, she doesn't know anything about astrology. She just knows some basic like sun sign stuff, but the sun represents your ego and you're a lot more than your ego, right? So there's a lot more to astrology than what pop astrology would have you think. In fact, it's a total misrepresentation of the ancient art in most cases. So yeah, no wonder astrology has a bad rap. Like it deserves it because there aren't enough people practicing it to uphold the traditional methodologies and or whom are actively trying to improve upon those methodologies like I am. Most people are either just naysayers or phony practitioners, okay, including lots of astrology fans, okay. So when it comes to red pill and astrology, like I'm not into pickup artistry at all. I like just having the cold hard truth about things in general, and making the best use of that for me, for everyone around me. Okay. Do the right thing, right? Cultivate your principles, cultivate your moral sensibilities through what is true and accurate about you, about everyone, about human nature, about the universe. Okay. But if you want to have sex, if you want to have success with women, if you want to have sex with her too, it might help to learn something about astrology. Okay. If you know a little bit more than what she knows, and this aligns with the concept of hypergamy perfectly. If you know a little more than she knows, then you are better than her at astrology. It probably doesn't take much because she's not practicing it in an honest and genuine way to begin with. And if you come out and say, oh, well, you say I'm a Sagittarius for that reason, but actually that's just my sun sign. And the real reason I'm like that is because my moon is in Aries. Okay. Uh, and actually, houses are more important than signs anyway, you know? And what I'm saying is, there's a lot more to astrology than what that girl sitting across the table on that date with you actually knows. And I could help you get to a higher level than she's at in probably less than 10 minutes. But I recommend booking a session of at least half an hour with me if you want to get to the meat of anything. So check the link in the description below if you'd like some astrological counseling. But just the general point I want to make here is that hypergamy, like astrology, is just a tool of becoming more self-aware. Okay. And I like to say that I don't tell people what to do in my counseling sessions. I help them to own what they choose to do. Okay. We have choice and we need to choose wisely. So having more knowledge about how you're naturally inclined to choose out of impulse without thinking about it will help you to think better about your choices. Okay. But when it comes to hypergamy and the red pill, this is just another thing that's subject to hypergamy, like everything is. If she thinks she knows something about astrology, you can know more about astrology and impress her that way. And in the past, not going to give away my experiences here, because my experiences are mine, and what worked for me may not work for you exactly in a one-to-one sort of way. But I am saying that if you're better than that, better at that than she is, that's another thing she can kind of check off of her list and be impressed by. And could lead to you getting lucky in one way or another. But again, not into pickup artistry. Okay. So just saying, astrology is not bullshit. And if you get into it even a little bit, that's probably more than her level of knowledge, and you can use that to your advantage. Again, not encouraging bad behavior here. I'm just saying that it's a realm of knowledge just like any other, except it's even more ancient and even more accurate than all other psychological systems of understanding individual personalities. So there's a ton of value in it. I highly recommend knowing something about it, not just to be better than the girl you're on a date with at it, but to actually help yourself. Because the better you know yourself, the better you can own the decisions that you do make. It's just true. Okay. I see it all the time in my practice, and I have great reviews. So see you guys in the next video. Cheers.